Hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. Today we're talking about the beautiful 3DS and all the must-buy games that you should pick up right now before the eShop closes or the physical prices go higher. And to make this video more fun and bubbly, some of your favorite content creators are joining me. Now there's no way for us to cover all the must-haves on this amazing handheld, so let us know what are your favorites down in the comment section. Let's begin our list with some JRPG goodness with Devil May Cry, Daniel Santos, and Mr. Matty.
What's going on, guys? Devil May Cry here, and I want to thank you, Mr. Bubbles, for including me in this video, going over the must-buy 3DS games in 2022 before the eShop closes, before the price skyrockets. And my personal recommendation is my favorite JRPG on the system, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker. Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker is a turn-based strategy JRPG part of the Shin Megami Tensei franchise. It's an updated port of the original DS game with much more added content. Both this one and the first game, Overclocked, have their own standalone stories, and I highly recommend you check out both of them. Even though it's considered a spin-off title, they're close to or even just as good as any of the mainline SMT or Persona games. You still have your awesome press turn battle system the series is known for, with exposing all the enemies' weaknesses, as well as your demon collecting and fusion. But unlike the other games with the demon negotiation system, Devil Survivor has its very own unique auction system, and it's awesome. With such a huge cast of great memorable characters and even a more streamlined version of the social links, you can build bonds with your party members so all you Persona fans would feel right at home. So if you only played like the Persona games and want to get into the more other SMT games like the mainline ones and other spin-offs such as this, the 3DS is the perfect place to pick up. There's so many great titles. The one on the eShop is on sale pretty often, so get them while you can whenever Atlas has those sales. And also, another bonus, if you're a fan of Evangelion like me, I think you'll enjoy this entry in particular. So yeah, definitely guys, check out Devil Survivor 2.
Better known for its original PS2 release, Dragon Quest VIII's 3DS port is arguably the definitive version of the game, with bonus content, the removal of random encounters in favor of being able to see enemies on the field, and of course, the ability to take this grand adventure with you on the go. It makes an already great game even better. Dragon Quest as a franchise has always been the comfort food of JRPGs. It's wholesome, nostalgic, and cozy. These key elements are not only present in Dragon Quest VIII, but made all the better with its wonderfully vibrant visuals, jaunty soundtrack, and classically refined turn-based combat, all culminating together into a charming journey. That being said, if you're not a fan of very traditional JRPGs, this game might not do it for you. There's no in-depth class system, intricate skill trees, or anything wildly out of the norm during combat. It's all very familiar for better and for worse. All that said, everything the game does, it does very well, and even if it may not be as advanced as its contemporaries in terms of complexity, sometimes you just want something nice, simple, and comfortable to fall back on, and Dragon Quest VIII does exactly that. It's your classic JRPG, made with quality and sincerity.
If I were to pick one 3DS game that you absolutely had to buy this year, it would be without a shadow of a doubt Fire Emblem Awakening. This is my personal favorite Fire Emblem game ever, and it also serves as the point in the series where I feel a lot of people were able to get into it and understand what was so awesome about it. For a while, people couldn't get into Fire Emblem because it was a very hardcore tactical RPG series where if one of your party members died on the field of battle, that was it. They were gone for good. So there was a level of choice and consequence there with who you brought into battle, and every turn truly counted. That was awesome. That's still here in Fire Emblem Awakening, but I think the best part, and we've seen this in future entries, is of course the casual mode is what they call it, where you're able to flip that on, and if someone dies in battle, that's okay. They're still there with you. So if you want the challenge, you can have it. If you don't want it, that's okay. But for me, it's really the story of Fire Emblem Awakening that also brought me to fall in love with this series, as this was my first Fire Emblem game that I well and truly played all the way through. And it's a timeless one with Chrom and Lucina. It's one that I always go back to, and it's one that I could totally see going up in price now because of how Nintendo's taking down their virtual storefronts, where this is a game that I think you should hop on. It's a mainline Nintendo series. It's very important to them, and it's a great RPG. So if you're looking for one, that would absolutely be my pick.
Let's break the JRPG streak with one of my favorite, more cozy and relaxing games, and that is none other than Animal Crossing New Leaf. This time around, your character is mistaken to be the mayor of a town, and you quickly receive the responsibility to take care of it. You begin with your humble tent and then slowly expand on it and build the beautiful house that you always wanted. And of course, you have the collecting nature of Animal Crossing with plenty of bugs, fish, sea creatures, clothing items, furniture, and more to obtain. What I love the most is the sync time and season schedule with real life, and that adds such a satisfying sense of immersion for the players. And what I also enjoy in this entry is the shopping neighborhood and the ability to upgrade the different shops a few times as well as unlocking other ones. In my opinion, New Leaf is superior to Horizons. I don't know about you, let me know in the comment section, but I prefer New Leaf any day. Maybe it's the good memories that I have with it, maybe it's the nostalgia factor talking, but I feel like New Leaf was just much more immersive and beautiful for me as an experience. So all I can say is if you haven't tried it yet, definitely check it out. Let's go back to some more JRPG goodness, and this time it's gonna be from Baron, Bao, and Emmanuel, so let's hear all about it, boys.
Hello everyone, my name is Baron J67 with LV1 Gaming. Before I begin talking about the game that took over my time with my Nintendo 3DS, I want to say thank you to Miss Bubbles for inviting me to rant a little bit. So for those who don't know, tactical RPGs are the best, don't at me, no debate, that's it. Now one that really shined on the 3DS was Fire Emblem Fates. The reason you must buy this series of games, yes, there are 3 different stories centered around one character. The drama, the great storytelling, and the simple, crazy enjoyment of the stress of permadeath. The story of these games centers around descendants of dragons and their fight to defend or control all the lands. Through numerous grid-based strategic battles, you get to choose the fate of the land as the main character. You will be building up relationships between characters to strengthen them on the battlefield, building up your castle to better equip your soldiers, and even make foods to boost abilities and in battle, and plenty more. So if you're looking for a title that has an interesting story with plenty of content, Fire Emblem Fates is definitely worth your money. Once again, thank you for having me on, Miss Bubbles. And if you guys are interested in more information, you can find me at lv1gaming.com. Much love, peace.
The 3DS is home to numerous Shin Megami Tensei games, but if I had to recommend you one that has to be played above all the others, it would be without a doubt Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked. A group of friends in Japan are getting ready to enjoy their summer vacation when a sudden lockdown happens. They have 7 days to figure out a way to escape the lockdown before the government kills everyone inside. And to make matters worse, demons have suddenly began popping up and wreaking havoc within the lockdown area, on top of the humans inside growing more unruly and violent by the day. It's a game with a lot of tension and even choice, as you'll have a limited amount of free time each day to talk to and recruit certain party members, or even save characters from death. If you ever want to get into SMT, Devil Survivor Overclocked makes the perfect first game, and in my and many other longtime fans' opinions, is a contender for the best game the Shin Megami Tensei series has ever seen. Battles play out in a tactical grid fashion like Fire Emblem, and you can customize multiple parties to your liking with countless demons that you can recruit, buy, and fuse. I've recommended Overclocked to numerous friends over the years, both those familiar and new to Shin Megami Tensei, and every single one has come away loving it. It's truly a game any RPG fan has to play.
Now, of course, with every Nintendo product, be it a handheld or a console, there's always bound to have a Pokemon game releasing for it. And in the case of our lovely 3DS here, you gotta have Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon within the array of games it already has presented. And why am I mentioning those in particular as opposed to Pokemon X and Y, Pokemon Sun and Moon Original, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? And the answer is very simple. Because it has all of the qualities that those games had have bundled together in neat little packages for you to have on your 3DS here, and it's the perfect Generation 7 based game to have. We all love Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because of its enhanced qualities compared to the original Sun and Moon. It has a lot to offer, it has a lot of post-game content. It not only enhances the non-traditional formula that Sun and Moon initially provided, and of course it has tons and tons of Pokemon for you to battle, catch, train, and more. So obviously, if you plan to get a Pokemon game for the 3DS in this current time, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is perfect for you.
JRPGs are known to be more on the longer side, so they need more time of you to finish. So sometimes you might want a break between your titles, so what's better than a little farming game to just sink your teeth into? It's of no surprise, that one for me would be Story of Seasons Trio of Towns. This is a farming sim that combines elements of social interaction, marriage, and friendship together. You have your farm with different crops to harvest based on the season, barn animals to take care of, your own pet companion which is so cute and travels with you, fun festivals to attend, and so much more. If you've played Pioneers of Olive Town on the Nintendo Switch, don't worry because this one is different enough to keep you hooked. As the title suggests, there are 3 towns to unlock and your objective is to complete part-time jobs in all of them. In my opinion, this one is pretty easy to get into, but you have to be more in the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna sink some time into it, I'm gonna be patient with it, and have some fun. The next game on our list is, you guessed it, squish that like button if you're finding this video helpful. Maybe we can reach 150 bubbly likes so we can say thank you to the amazing creators that took the time of their day to be with us here. Now on to some more game pickups. We have Floor Hugger and Cloudy.
Hey y'all, Floor Hugger here, and Bubbles brought me here to talk about my favorite 3DS game. So I have an interesting history with the 3DS. I didn't get into 3DS games until I was older, past the life cycle of, the system. And my favorite game on there is Professor Layton. I'm not a great puzzle person. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I can get by, but there's something about the Professor Layton games that I just love, and the ability to skip puzzles if you don't truly understand what's going on. The cutscenes are anime quality, and I think there is a little anime somewhere on YouTube that you can watch as well for Professor Layton, but they've just always stuck with me. There's so many good games on the DS and through the DS's life cycle, but Professor Layton, that whole franchise, has always been one that's stuck out to me, and I would like to see continue in the future. I don't know if they ever will, but Professor Layton games probably Golden Child or the Golden Apple, whatever the first game, I can't remember the name of it, but they're so logic testing, memory testing, math testing, yet with a fun and entertaining story, cute characters, well-designed music, awesome settings, intrigue, mystery, and just a nice little package that no matter what age you are, you can play multiple times to get through the puzzles, get through the story again. It's just, I don't know what it is about those games, but I would love to see more Professor Layton games, and more people know about the Professor Layton games, because apparently a lot of people don't know that they exist. I want to thank this Bubbles for, just letting me be here, let me rant for a little bit, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
If psychological horror and suspense is absolutely your thing, if you appreciate hard-to-crack escape room puzzles, and if you enjoy uncovering the darkest mysteries along the way in a twisted story with whopping 28 different endings, get ready for an emotional roller coaster in Zero Escape: Virtue's Last Reward. This game, or more like the whole Zero Escape series, is one of my all-time favorites. It had me absolutely speechless and gave me countless of sleepless nights. But let me get into detail a tiny bit more. To the beginning of the story, we find ourselves abducted by a mysterious stranger and thrown into an abandoned bunker with 8 other people. And to escape, you will have to stand the test and win the so-called Nonary survival game.
I am Zero the Third, the king of this kingdom!
And there's absolutely no way to resist this madness because you all have a bracelet attached around your wrists that contain a lethal poison. If your score drops from 9 to 0, you will lose the game and simply die. While teaming up with the other participants, you have to solve every puzzle and obviously manage to escape the room. But consider, sometimes betrayal might earn more points than being someone's ally. So whose side are you on? Would you choose to kill in order to save your own life? Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward is the perfect depiction of the classic prisoner's dilemma, and I am all in for the psychological drama. Please enjoy, everyone.
Now Hugger blessed us with a chilled, more laid-back game, but Cloudy went with a horror selection, so I'm gonna go with Rune Factory 4 here. Now with the release of Rune Factory 5 on the Nintendo Switch, we cannot just forget about Rune Factory 4, right? This was, after all, my first entry into the franchise. The beauty here is the bundling of JRPG mechanics, including farming, life sim, and dating sim elements. When you're not on your farm tending to your crops, you're on the battlefield either fighting or taming monsters. Why would I tame monsters, you ask? Well, it's because they offer you help on the farm, but they also are going to help you when you're out and about fighting other monsters. The story here, in my opinion, is better and more cohesive than the one we find in Rune Factory 5, but the trigger system that you need to progress the story can be a little bit difficult, so you might find yourself on the wiki a little bit more than you would like to. However, this should not stop you from giving it a try. There are amazing bachelors and bachelorettes and just overall characters to meet, so I highly recommend that you check it out. You know, before I started my YouTube channel, I was more into Western RPGs. However, recently, I have been getting more and more into JRPGs, and it's because of these amazing creators that we have today talking about the goodness of JRPGs and the experiences that they can offer us. So now we have Tark's Gauntlet, Hellfire RPG, and Taylor from the Gaming Shelf sharing more pickups for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stella Glow. You want me to elaborate? If you insist. Stella Glow is a tactical RPG visual novel / dating sim that tells the tale of our main character Alto as he journeys across the land, forming bonds with various witches, whom he must unite to overthrow another witch named Hilda, who threatens to use her song magic to destroy his hometown and probably the rest of the world while she's at it. You know, for funsies. Gameplay is somewhat typical of the genre, but intentionally so, blending the old school mechanics we know and love and often yearn to return to, with some welcome new age quality of life mechanics as well. The combat is balanced such that its rather limited set of mechanics are all treated with the utmost importance, and planning and strategy are not only rewarded with victory but often required for it. Though it doesn't start you off in nail-biting scenarios, it gradually intensifies until it pushes the limits of your character's potential to their breaking points, and possibly your breaking point as well. It's pretty cool, really. For as pretty and cute as the game can look, it is anything but a pushover. It also has one of the best OSTs the 3DS has to offer. Written primarily by Shunsuke Tsuchiya and Yasunori Mitsuda, it is not an OST to sleep on, even if you have no interest in playing the game itself. Sadly, developers Image Epoch went bankrupt before the game could make it to store shelves, with Atlus picking the title up for North American localization and release, which likely means there aren't exactly that many copies out there, so if you want it, snatch it up while you still can. I have my doubts we'll ever see it ported to another system, though I would absolutely celebrate the occasion if it happened. As their swan song, Image Epoch really couldn't have gone out on a better note, upholding quality to the bitter end. If you have any interest in tactical RPGs on the 3DS at all, this is one to check out. You don't want to be sleeping on Stella Glow.
We're talking about the must-have games on the 3DS. I'm talking about one of the greatest games of all time. The Xeno series is the gift that keeps on giving, and Xenoblade Chronicles is a prime example of this. Originally released on the Wii in 2010, Xenoblade Chronicles was later ported to the 3DS in 2015. So, what makes this game a must-play? I'll start with the story. It is incredible. Xenoblade Chronicles is set in a world of endless ocean. Its inhabitants live on the frozen bodies of two giant titans who in the past were engaged in battle. Yeah, this is absolutely a weird setting, but it is so cool. The main character, Shulk, comes into possession of a mysterious blade called the Monado after an attack by the Mechon. The Monado is a core element of the story, and it grants its wielder a foresight. This foresight applies to the amazing battle system too, as you can see when an ally is going to be knocked out in battle. This gives you the option to change your battle strategy to prevent that KO from actually happening. Yeah, the combat is awesome, but I think my favorite thing about Xenoblade Chronicles is the exploration. Over 10 years later, this is still the bar for JRPG exploration. There is so much to explore and discover in the many beautiful large open regions. I was 100% motivated to explore every square inch of these maps, partly because there is almost always a reward for doing so. If you don't have Xenoblade Chronicles on the 3DS, do yourself a favor and get it now.
One of my favorite pair of 3DS JRPGs is Pokemon X and Y. These games are pretty special to me for a few reasons. The first is that the 3DS was the console that got me back into Nintendo after a decade of not owning Nintendo hardware. The second is that this was the first Pokemon game I played since the original Red and Blue. It felt so fresh being fully 3D and having so many new Pokemon that I had never seen before. Not to mention that you get to choose one of the Red and Blue starters later in the game, so it almost felt tailor-made for me. As for the game itself, it was so fun going on a brand new Pokemon adventure after so many years. Raising my starter Froakie, building my team, and earning badges just felt so nostalgic. I also loved exploring every corner of this world to see all the little secrets I could find. I think the cherry on top of this game for me was that my entire office at the time was really into this game, so we religiously played it together at lunch. It was just so neat to have a small community to share this experience with every single day.
Time to fire up some more cozy / life sim games, and to help me with that I have Kat, or as you know her, the casual gamer. So I'm going to start with Ever Oasis. Now this one gets some mixed feelings from me because every time I try to get into it, I just kind of get distracted, so it can hook me but not for long. But the reality is I know that many people swear by this game, so of course it had to be here because in the end we can't deny the charm that it has. Basically you're fighting against the power of chaos and building your own haven. You'll have new villagers visiting you and eventually becoming residents, and they are very important because their skills can be used on the battlefield, but they also open up shops where you can find useful items. This one is an excellent choice for you if you're looking for some cozy-ish dungeon crawling and just overall having fun.
Hello Bubbly fam, I'm so excited to share my favorite 3DS game with you today because if you've been to my channel before it might not come as a surprise, but if not, it is Fantasy Life. And Fantasy Life pretty much brings together all my favorite genres from different games into one adorable little package. It is first an action-adventure RPG set in a fantasy world, as the name suggests, and it has you playing as a would-be hero that would eventually save the world from all this doom and gloom. But besides that, you can also choose between 12 different life classes, and you can specialize in one or dabble in a few, from combat classes to gathering classes to my personal favorite, which is the crafting classes. And I feel that that just gives the game so much replayability, and you can experiment with different combinations. The story itself is just super fun and lighthearted. There's a lot of comedy in the characters as well, and just overall a very charming game. I hope you love it if you do get to try it.
You know, Kat, just the way Witcher 3 is my favorite RPG of all time, Fantasy Life has to be my favorite in the life sim genre, especially on the 3DS. So if you haven't picked it up yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get it. But let's be real, we also have to talk about something called Tomodachi Life, which is very cute, and it's just one of the weirdest experiences that you will have on the 3DS. As I mentioned, this one is just so different from any game you'll play ever, period. You get this residence building and slowly get people to move in. Now, they can be anybody, they are me's, so you can create them, you can have your favorite celebrity in there, your friends, your family, yourself, really anyone. And you just let them be. You're gonna see love circles happen, marriage, drama, fighting, and so much more. And you can participate in some things, but the best thing about it is just sitting back and watching just events happen all over the residence. And some things are just crazy and you're gonna be like, what the heck is happening right now? This one is more on the hilarious side at times, and I really recommend it if you're looking for something that is just different. Now, we talked all about our favorite and must-buy 3DS games, but we want to know yours, so don't forget to let us know down in the comment section. Thank you to all the amazing content creators that joined me today. You can find the links to their channels in the pinned comments, so please check them out and say hello to them. Of course, thank you to all my bubbly Patreons for the support. Thank you for watching, and a shout out to Justin and Faye for taking the extra mile. As always, stay bubbly, stay positive, and I will see your gorgeous self in the next one. Bye bye!